right, Mr.Taliaferro TV, how's everybody doing out there? Now, I want to get into these comments. I thought they were quite candid. I thought they were important comments, and I'll give my opinion afterwards. So first and foremost, we all know the Houston Rockets were eliminated last Friday in 6 games by the Golden State Warriors. The Rockets lost Game 6 at home without the services of Kevin Durant. Steph's got the dislocated finger. He struggled in the first half. Klay Thompson was pretty much the only prolific scorer for the Warriors. In the second half, they reversed roles. It's all about Steph Curry. He goes for 33 in the second half, 23 in the fourth quarter. Chris Paul had a good game. James Harden had a pretty decent game. And somehow, someway, at home, the Rockets still lose in Game 6. And they don't even get to a Game 7. It's a very disappointing end to the Rockets season that had a lot of promise in it. This was supposed to be the revenge year for these guys. They were supposed to come back and avenge their loss last year after the Chris Paul injury. And they didn't do that. Matter of fact, they ended up losing a round before they got to last year. And a lot of Rockets fans, the team, everybody's disappointed. I want to shift here, because a lot of blame is going to James Harden and Chris Paul and Clint Capella. And rightfully so, right? They deserve their share of blame. But I don't believe the head coach of this basketball team, Mike D'Antoni, is getting enough blame here. So Steven Jackson over at FS1, he does work with them. I believe he just kind of does some freelance work with those guys. He gave some comments yesterday about Mike D'Antoni. I'm going to read them real quick, and then I'll come back and give y'all my comments as this video progresses. Jack said, D'Antoni is not going to get it done. The problem is not offense. You have one of the best scorers in NBA history. Harden's going to score in any system. D'Antoni's not a defensive coach. They might win a title with James, but not with D'Antoni at the helm. Yeah, I know Steven Jackson is one of the most respected players, on and off the court. NBA guys respect him. I'm going to be honest with you. I've been feeling this way for quite some time, but I'm not a former NBA player. And rarely will you hear a guy like me say things about players and say things about coaches, right? I got too much respect for the game of basketball. I played AAU, but I wasn't any good. I played AAU like 10, 15 years ago, but I was never any good. I just love the game of basketball. I've been a reporter for a while now, So I have too much respect for the game to get into the X's and O's, because quite frankly, I don't understand it enough to really say this coach schematically isn't doing his job. I rarely get into that race, even from the high school level to college level. I just don't do that in regards to I have too much respect for the game and the coaches, the players. I just got too much respect. Certain things I don't do, and I just stay back from it. In Mike D'Antoni's situation, though, to agree with Steven Jackson, I'm not gonna lie. And people call this guy an offensive genius, but in my opinion, it looks like too many times he's just giving the ball to his best player and allowing him to make plays. I'm not sure we're supposed to be giving this that much credit, right? Like, I'm watching the Houston Rockets literally get the ball, dribble. Let's get up to the past half court, around 17 seconds on the shot clock. And it is literally isolation. I might want to screen depending on my matchup. I might not. Like in the series with the Warriors last round. They literally just screened and rolled and tried to get the mismatch. Whoever has Steph Curry, the guy was going. That's not a very complicated offense. Not a lot of moving around. You're telling one of the greatest point guards of all time to go get in the corner and just allow James Harden to ISO his way into points. Now, does Harden deserve blame in that? I already told y'all he deserves some blame. But I'm not going to lie. I think Mike D'Antoni might be one of the most overrated coaches in NBA history. I think what he deserves credit for is just simply stepping out of the way. I think dude allows, I'm talking about from Steve Nash on down, I think this guy just simply allows his players to do them. I think he allows guys to just get the rock and go for it. And James Harden's so incredible offensively, he can get you a lot of buckets. He'll win you a lot of regular season games. I don't know if Mike D'Antoni deserves a lot of credit. I saw Jeremy Lin light it up with him. Again, Steve Nash, because not only dished the ball for 10, 12 assists a game, Nash was putting up 20 points a game as well in a couple of those seasons. I'm not 100% sure if this is Mike D'Antoni's system in regards to schematically making things work for his team, or is it just more or less he allows his players to do them? And you got a guy like James Harden, one of the smartest players on the court, Steve Nash, one of the smartest players in NBA history. They just kind of work that thing out themselves. And probably other coaches who probably should allow their guys to have more leeway. But in Mike D'Antoni's situation, the Rockets have enough offense. Their thing is defense. When you ask a coach after a game, what did you see defensively with your team? And a guy that gets paid millions of dollars tells you, I don't really know. We should just play harder. Like, your answer to everything just can't be, we should just play harder. He never gives me anything schematically. I just don't think this guy is the right guy. I agree with Steven Jackson. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Here's the problem. Mike D'Antoni would be a great assistant coach, right? And you go get a guy that's more well-rounded. But at this point in the game, the dude's had so much success technically as a coach. He ain't going backwards for nobody. He needs to be an assistant coach. Focus in and work with guys like Harden. They already got the defensive coach there, and they need a new head coach. But it ain't no damn way he gonna pull back. You need a head coach that's willing to step up to James Harden and say, bruh, pass the damn ball. Put the ball in Chris Paul hand. Sometimes this stuff just gets down to personalities. And I don't think Mike D'Antoni has the personality of a head coach, and I don't believe the Rockets would ever win with him as the head coach. I just don't. I agree with Steven Jackson. What do you think? In the comment box below, talk to me. I'm out. I came from nothing, but I want everything God has for me. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I still represent the culture.
Got the kids, they are now tuned in.
Yo, we locked in right now, Mr.
Mr.Taliaferro.
Mr. Shout out to Mr. Taliaferro.
You're watching Mr.Taliaferro TV.
Mr. Taliaferro TV. Here with the triple B's, you can't do nothing but win.